Alright, welcome to the gaming talk show today. I thought we would talk about upcoming games 2020, since we did something similar to this last year. About, well, the same subject basically, but just 2019. So I thought we should take a look at the current upcoming games for 2020 right now, and then we'll go from there and we'll discuss a little bit back and forth, because there's some or several of games that have been delayed, obviously because of crunch and many other factors with this year, obviously, which is very understandable. So I thought we should actually just get into that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some upcoming games here. We're gonna start with one that I haven't seen in ages. I haven't really played it much myself either. Well, this franchise. It's called Desperados 3. I don't know, have you guys heard about that? I don't know. It's apparently a new upcoming game coming out June 16th. Like this month. It's like it's a real-time tactics video game developed by Mimimi Games, published by THQ Nordic. First installment in the series since 2007, so it's a pretty old game actually. Spin-off title Eldorado. Will be released on 16th of June 2020. So on this is on Microsoft Store or Microsoft Windows, so Xbox app probably, a Game Pass, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I think we could go over here. So this is how it looks. I just have it muted. Desperados 3, THQ Nordic. So that's the gameplay. It's kind of like real-time strategy. Western style. It kind of looks like Wasteland 2. Director's cut that we played. Honestly. And it's apparently a little bit of a stealth. You can do stealth and gun spacing gameplay. And place traps. Melee fighting. Okay, so you have different classes. That's what those are. It seems. You're just reviewing upcoming PC games. Yeah, I'm just looking at them. I'm not reviewing them. I'm just like kind of looking at them, seeing if it's anything interesting. This kind of looks like a Wasteland 2 style game. And it's like a revived game from like a long time ago to Desperados. This is Desperados 3. There's actually been 3 games in the franchise. So yes, that was that game. It's gonna be released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC June 16th. And it is apparently the origin story of John Cooper and his gang with Desperados in Desperados 3. So if you know about that, I don't know too much about that other than what I've read. Like I said again, it's the first installment in the series since 2007, which is that's a long time. There's a remaster feel about it. Yeah, but it's a completely new game. It's a new real-time tactics video game. developed by Mimimi Games and published by THQ Nordic, in the franchise of Desperados, basically. So yeah, it's a pretty old school game that comes back. It's kind of cool when old school franchises come back like that and gets the correct funding and whatnot, or enough funding to actually be able to, you know, release a completely new game in that franchise. It's on Steam if you're interested in the Desperados 3 game. You can search that up. But yeah, to me it looked really like Wasteland 2. This one is a little bit mixed feelings about. It's called, for a lot of people, it's called The Last of Us Part 2. So I actually have a personal history with that game, or with this franchise actually, because I played the first game, Last of Us 1, on a PlayStation 3 a long time ago, when that came out, the first game. And that's a really, really great game actually, the first game. Very like heavy story, you could say, like it kind of tears you down emotionally when you play it, and gets you right in the feels, you could say. but it does it like in a really, really good way. So I do actually recommend the first game. But here's the thing about the second game: it's gone through a lot of like criticism, which might actually be, we don't know yet for sure, but when it comes out, it might be actually deserved. I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be interesting to see when that releases, The Last of Us Part 2. What happens? So yeah, this might be a little, if you're a fan of The Last of Us and you want to play The Last of Us Part 2, this might be a little bit spoilerish. I'm just gonna show footage. And The Last of Us as a franchise has like a very like a little bit like of a disturbing way of portraying different situations. So just know that. So this might be a little bit spoilerish, or very, I don't know. I haven't watched this myself. It's a full 4K presentation apparently, and it's 23 minutes long. We're not gonna watch like everything, but what we're gonna do is watch from there, I guess. So that's how it looks. And sometimes it does have some story elements that are very, very disturbing. Especially in the first game, it had a lot of that on purpose, because this is like a post-apocalyptic world, and it's still like that in a part 2 apparently. But the first one had a lot of like zombies, different types of zombies, that were like one huge enemy, but also the humans were a bigger threat actually. So they're probably gonna go further with that in number 2. But here's the thing about it: they've been kind of, I don't know what to say. They've been getting a lot of criticism. Let's just say that, because the game actually leaked. Like, not what I'm looking at now is not a leak. This is what they posted themselves. But the entire game itself has been leaked a long time ago. like huge story elements that a lot of fans of the series franchise disagree with and thought were bad story writing. But I'm not gonna judge it myself until it comes out completely, and then I'll see the reviews and what everyone's talking about, right? When everyone's streaming it, making YouTube videos about it, reviewing it and whatnot, then you'll see for sure. That's what you should do with like any game anyway. Ideally, in my opinion, anyways. But so far, this is a PS4 exclusive title, by the way, and it looks fine, like the graphics. But that's not what this is about, or any game anyway. Like, that is the least. If a game looks nice, it's nice to have something nice to look at, right? But that's not the most important thing about a game. It's the story, for example. It's the gameplay, mostly gameplay. It's the different characters, dialogue, right? The situations you're put in, like right here, right now. Stuff like this. Looks like it's gonna be pretty brutal right there. Got the eye candy for sure, yeah. I mean, it's pretty impressive what they can do with like pretty outdated hardware. Even the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X aren't really that high-end at all. Like even my PC kind of outdoes those. And my PC is like from 2016. But still, there we have a clicker. I remember that. It's like a big clicker from the first game, which is a type of zombie that uses its hearing to find you. They can't see you. And they're really brutal. And that was literally combat. This is actually gameplay. This looks very much like how the first game played. Maybe it's a little bit smoother this time around. But with it is a game that it's not really about the gameplay too much either. Like the gameplay was kind of clunky in the first game actually. I didn't mind it too much personally. But a lot of people actually said it was kind of clunky, yeah. But it is mostly about the story and the world and the characters and their relationship. And that actually, the first Last of Us game, did that extremely well. You just have to play it. Well, you just have to trust me about it. You don't have to play it. Just trust me if you value my opinion. The first game is actually really great. It is a heartbreaking game. More of the combat does not do it justice like with the first game. This game, I don't know about this game. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it runs in the same vein, or I don't know. Probably, but it's like a heartbreaking game. In a good way. I don't know how, like, it's weird to explain, but you feel it. Like, if you don't have empathy, you don't feel it obviously, but if you have empathy, you'll feel it really hard. You literally set yourself in. You kind of feel like you are the characters you play, or the character, like the other characters are in the game with you. In a kind of horrific, heartbreaking, but good kind of way. It's hard to explain. So if you're not into like that kind of storytelling where things actually feel real, It's very like aligned with reality the best it can. It's still a video game, obviously, right? I would still recommend it, the first game. This will be very interesting to see what kind of reception this game is gonna get. You have like a stealth mechanic too. And this character is called Ellie, by the way. In the first game, she was a kid, basically. So now you're playing her as a protagonist. But she was basically a protagonist in the first game too. Kind of half and half. But yeah, that's Last of Us 2. That will be interesting to see what that will get as a reception and whatnot. It was first gonna be released at May 29th, but now it's June 19th. It was delayed, which is understandable for a lot of games, right? Nah, right now, like, it's a crazy world right now we live in. And then we have this kind of funny SpongeBob SquarePants Battle Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, apparently. Platform video game based on Nickelodeon animated series SpongeBob. It's a remake. This is a remake of the console versions for Heavy Iron Studios. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. I've actually never watched SpongeBob, but I've heard about it, obviously. Let's see if we can find a trailer. This one. This is how it's gonna look, most likely. I don't know if it's gonna be gameplay here, though. Okay, that looks like gameplay. Very cartoonish gameplay. So yeah, I don't know. That is not really for me personally, but it's good for platformer video game fans, I guess, and fans of this cartoon. It apparently has several different voice actings like Spanish, German, English, so you can change between that if you're Spanish, for example, or French. Yeah, this looks very like yeah, it's a remake. It's apparently a remake, so it's not gonna look like the best, but it's probably more about the gameplay and the platformer elements, right? So yeah, apparently they have a lot of languages: Japanese, Polish, German, French, English, obviously. I can look up some gameplay. If I don't know if they have some gameplay. Yeah, I found some gameplay. It looks very cartoony, obviously. That's how it looks. It looks like Banjo-Kazooie gameplay, kinda. Or yeah, Banjo-Kazooie-ish gameplay. So if you're into that, and SpongeBob, obviously, maybe this will be for you. Maybe if you played this game when it came out a long time ago, this is the remake, right? Then you'll have nostalgia for it. But I don't have any nostalgia myself. I don't know anything about SpongeBob other than it's a comic relief cartoon, right? That's about it. Yeah, if you enjoy platformers like Banjo-Kazooie this probably looks like. And Crash Bandicoot too. Crash Bandicoot looks very much like Crash Bandicoot as well. That kind of platformer game. Yeah, very color. Yeah, it makes sense that it's a colorful game. It's a cartoon game. So yeah, that's basically it there. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows PC. That is. And The Last of Us 2 was obviously on PlayStation 4 only. This is the next game. Ninjala is an upcoming free-to-play multiplayer action video game developed by Gung Ho Online Entertainment. It was originally set to be released May 27th for Nintendo Switch, but it was delayed almost a month later to June 24th, obviously due to COVID-19. A lot of games had that, which is totally understandable. But it looks like it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch. I'm gonna see if I can find some gameplay. So yeah, again, a free-to-play multiplayer action video game that I've never heard about. That's how it looks. It kind of looks like the... what's it called again? What's the one? The Squid Kids for Nintendo. It kind of looks like that. Where you like paint an arena the most you can. I'll actually see if I can find that. Hold on. Ah, Splatoon. It looks like Splatoon. Nintendo, no Splatoon 3 yet. Ninjala, okay, my turn then. Okay, so apparently this is like a game that has been made in between releases of Splatoon 2 and 3, I guess. Apparently, I have never played any of those games myself, but if you're interested, it's exclusive on Nintendo Switch and free-to-play action game in an arena. It looks like PvP and a little bit PvE. It looks like too. Probably mostly PvP. So that's that. Little Nintendo game that I've never heard about there. Let's move on to... what's this? Iron Man VR. Okay. Wasn't that actually announced last year? Like March last year. Iron Man VR. I don't have any VR headset myself, and I'm probably not gonna get any. Like, it's only if you have like a lot of extra, money laying about, then you can buy like a, Valve Index, and then which is like the best high-end one, which still looks like a scuba suit, well, a scuba like mask to me, but it's apparently extremely good quality if you're into VR. But this is a VR game. And that's how it looks. I think it's not actual gameplay. But it looks like it's gameplay though. Right there. You're just flying through the air, punching stuff, shooting. That's Iron Man. July 3rd, 2020 by Camouflage. And it's a shooter game. Yeah, I'm not entirely interested in that at all. Like, you would have to buy a PlayStation 4, and I don't see anyone buying a PlayStation 4 only for Iron Man VR. Like, maybe if The Last of Us Part 2 is good, maybe that, but you should. I don't think. Here's one thing: I don't think you should ever buy a console, like the next console generation. I don't think you should buy Xbox Series X or PS5 just for one game. You should have several games in mind, and then wait. Don't buy on release either. Just wait until maybe the price drops, or you know, the actual beta phase is over, because or the first initial launch phase is over, and then see. Then you'll have a good idea of several games to buy with your system, so that you don't just have one game. That's just my opinion, though. Deadly Premonition 2, a blessing in disguise. So I've heard some things about this game, or the first game, that is very weird. It's so bad it's good, and it's strange. So that's what I've heard. It's apparently only for Nintendo Switch, as far as I see. That's weird, because the first game was on PC. No, the first game is actually on Steam, so it's on PC. Yep. So now what they're doing is actually making the second one exclusive on Switch. That's a little bit strange. Let me just show the trailer, I guess. Just to show how it kind of looks. Nintendo Switch exclusive, Deadly Premonition 2, which was on PC for the first game, so it might be like a, I don't know. It might be a game that stays exclusive for Nintendo Switch for a while, like 1 year, and then it comes out on Steam after that. That's very normal nowadays with a lot of games. Yeah, so what you're seeing now is very strange. That's apparently what it is anyway. Very artsy. And like I said again, the first game is so bad it's good, apparently. But that might backfire for some people, right? Didn't really show much there. Let's see if I can find any gameplay. Okay, this is how it looks. This is how most likely how it's gonna look in game. So not that great, but it's whatever. Like, this is on Nintendo Switch, so it's not gonna look like, no game is gonna look good outside of like Mario and Zelda or whatnot, right? Like The Witcher 3 does not look good, for example. But it is on there. The Witcher 3 is on the Switch, actually, for example. Which is a great game. Okay, so they have made that game exclusive on Switch, which is kind of weird. I don't know if you guys are interested in F1, which is like a racing thing. F1 2020. That's coming up July 7th. Looks like this. That's basically what it is. Formula 1 racing. Racing dance game. Yeah, I don't think... Like, I like racing though, but maybe not Formula 1. I like Forza. Forza Horizon, for example. Because that's like an open world where you actually do stuff. You kind of do quests in it and whatnot, and you don't have to race all the time on a track. You can actually drive around in the open world and do stuff. Meanwhile here, this is more of a simulation of Formula 1. So if you're into this might be a good thing, I don't know. But yeah, that's F1 2020, official video game of the 2020 Formula 1 and Formula 2 championships, developed by Codemasters. And wait. Did it? I think it actually delayed a little bit more to July 10th. On Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One and Stadia. Let's not talk about Stadia. So the next game is interesting. Might be interesting for way more people. Ghost of Tsushima. Which actually has full gameplay, I think. Right? Yeah, but this is PlayStation 4. This is PlayStation 4 exclusive. So you have to keep that in mind. Let me see if I can find the gameplay here. They actually have full 4K presentation right there. And the release is PlayStation 4 exclusive, July 17th. I'm gonna show you how it looks. Apparently some people have said it looks like Asian The Witcher 3. Or, you know, Japanese The Witcher 3 maybe? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, Neo maybe, Neo 1 and 2. Way more than Dark Souls. Yeah, a mixture between Neo and The Witcher 3. And you apparently can collect bamboo, you can collect stuff and resources, but there's also combat, obviously. And this is running on PS4. Obviously. So you're, from what I gather, you're a samurai. Highly trained, and you have a ghost with you. I'm not entirely sure actually. But if you're interested in that, it has like a full 18-minute or an almost 19-minute gameplay showcase on YouTube right now. So that might be way more interesting than Formula 1. You're gonna earmark that? Yeah, you have a PS4, right? You do actually have a PS4, so you can actually play that. See if I can find some combat too, or movement. But first, it's an action-adventure game by Sucker Punch Productions. And yeah, it's an open world, it's not linear. It's definitely open world. That might be interesting. And it's about one of the last samurai on Tsushima Island during the first Mongol invasion of Japan in 1270s. It's a long time ago. There we go, that's some movement there. Back on the horse again. And you explore monuments and whatnot in the open world too. I mean, it looks good to me. Yeah, it looks. Oh, that looks very Neo-ish. I remember when you have like bonfires in Neo, they looked very much like that too. See any combat. Yeah, they're gonna fight now. Let's see if okay, that's bow. And then katana, sword. So you just completely dominate them. Yeah, this is the combat. A little bit bloody, but no, it's not cutting off the limbs. Wouldn't you actually cut off the limbs with a sharp weapon like the katana? And he bows after killing. Yeah, that was that game. I don't have a PlayStation 4 myself, so I don't think I'm gonna buy that just for that. See, Paper Mario, the Origami King. I actually never played a Paper Mario game in my life. Maybe some people are interested in that. This is obviously just Nintendo Switch. Let's see if I have gameplay. Probably talk a little bit about it first. It comes out July 17th. Paper Mario, the Origami King. Role-playing video game. It's an RPG. Exclusive on Nintendo Switch. And let's see if we can find a little bit of gameplay. There's only 18 seconds of gameplay, by the way. But I found it. So it's turn-based combat RPG. Like this. Apparently. Looks a little bit like Pokemon a little bit. The combat style. Yeah, that was that. It was 18 second. It was literally 18-second clip. So yeah, Paper Mario is like a turn-based RPG style game. Let's move on from that. I'm not too interested in that myself. I don't have any, like, it might be like one of those nostalgia trips or nostalgia games where you kind of have to play like the older ones to, you know, be interested or excited about the new ones. Maybe. So I might be a little bit selective now with the games coming up. Let's see. I might skip a few here and there, but we can take a look at the New World at least, which is, if you don't know what New World is, it is a new MMO from Amazon, the company Amazon, and it's gonna be released in August. No specific day, but August 2020 apparently. Oh, it does have a date. Okay, August 25th. The online, massively multiplayer online role-playing game by Amazon Game Studios. And I actually do have some gameplay here that I can actually look at afterwards. It's apparently set in mid 1600s, and players colonize a fictional land modeled after British America in the Atlantic Ocean. You can scavenge resources, craft items, and fight other players. I assume it's gonna be player versus environment as well. And it will be using a buy-to-play model, which means there will be no monthly mandatory subscription fee. That's what it says here. but there might be microtransactions within it, so just know that it's a MMO. So a lot of MMOs, even though they are buy-to-play, so you buy it for one price, they might still contain extra stuff that you can buy on top of that, right? Which I don't particularly like, but also you could probably do like ESO, where you buy the game and then if you want to get new perks or extra perks, you actually still can subscribe for I don't know, $15 every month or whatever. They apparently Amazon. I don't know. Does Amazon even have any type of, experience within MMOs or games at all like this? I don't know, but we're gonna watch the gameplay here. Some of the gameplay. Looks very survival-ish. Maybe a little bit of orc in there. Rust, maybe. And that's a map. But yeah, a lot of people that are into MMOs are very excited about this game, actually. Very excited, I've heard. Ah, so you just summon a campfire like that, okay. Okay, it's very survival-ish. So if you like survival games, this might be perfect. The perfect MMO for you. If you like MMO and survival games. Maybe, we'll see. Lots of crafting. And it looks like you're kind of like in one place a long time as well. Like this. You just stand around waiting for stuff to be done, maybe, or like craft, or your health to regen, or whatnot. So it might look like it's a collaborative effort, maybe, like everyone's building up a place, like a camp, and then you fight against another like clan maybe or gang of people later. And I assume there's hunting too. Let me just skip through a little bit. Yeah, here's some fighting. Some gameplay. Okay, it's PvE too. Withered, it looks like it's some kind of zombie creature that you fight. But you also can fight humans or other players. Yeah, a lot of survival-ish elements. Wood, collecting wood and whatnot. Then you can probably... Wow, that was laggy. This game might have some performance issues at launch, I'm pretty sure. Which, if you guys have played ESO, well, or any MMO for that matter, but ESO, from my personal experience, had a lot of like performance issues when there's more players on the screen, obviously. So that's New World, if you're into MMO survival games, survival-ish games, and you like the mid-1600s style, British America in the Atlantic Ocean. It's fictional though, it's not like realistic. Now we have Wasteland 3. I actually played Wasteland 2 a little bit, Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, so I know a little bit about like the gameplay and whatnot. Let's see if I can find actual gameplay from this, so that you guys can see what this game is actually about. But yeah, it's like a it's a role-playing game, obviously. Sequel to Wasteland 2. And I guess I can show you. It apparently has single player and multiplayer. And it's on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Oh, I forgot. Let's see, New World is on just PC. Okay, New World is just on PC. But the game, but Wasteland 3 is on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So yeah, this is how Wasteland 3 looks. That style of camera, like view, and you kind of have like a party of people, and it's a role-playing game. So there's going to be a lot of dialogue and story elements. And dialogue options. See if we can find some combat as well. Here's the combat. So it's kind of like tactical. You have to position yourself tactical, and it's turn-based tactical combat like this. It's a little bit chess style tactical RPG combat. And you have it's kind of dice roll as well on your chance of hitting. So you could potentially try to hit this here guy for 51% chance, which means you kind of roll the dice a little bit. Right, that's how that looks. I'm being summoned by work. We'll be back later, hopefully. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, TPC. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's from the first hour of Wasteland 3 gameplay. So yeah, it's basically like a squad-based role-playing game, and it's made by In Exile Entertainment. It's very tactical combat, So I remember from Wasteland 2 that sometimes it was very easy to mess up and just fail. You can't just fail several times in a row and then hit and expect to win an entire battle. You kind of have to think through the steps. You can't just go face the entire time. But yeah, it's gonna have like a deep reactive story full of twists, turns, and brutal ethical decisions, which the Wasteland 2 also had. Several decisions you have to make, ethical and not, in that game. But if that is interesting to you, it's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, Linux, and macOS. Next one is Crusader Kings 3, which I know is pretty popular amongst a lot of people that like alternative history. Well, history as well as alternative history in the Middle Ages, for example. Yeah, this one, Crusader Kings 3, is set in the Middle Ages. It's a grand strategy game, apparently. And obviously it's the sequel to Crusader Kings 2, which is free. Yeah, Crusader Kings 2, the base game, is actually free right now. The only thing that is not free is like the DLCs and whatnot. And it's on Microsoft Windows and Linux. Role-playing and grand strategy, single player and multiplayer. If you like that. Let me see if we can watch a teaser. Teaser trailer, gameplay teaser. There's some gameplay in this. Crusader Kings 3. That's how it looks right there. That's basically how the gameplay is in 2 as well, from what I've seen anyway. It says 1st of September this year, which is correct. 1st of September 2020, Microsoft Windows, Linux. Made by Paradox Interactive. I haven't really played the first one myself, or the second one, I guess, Crusader Kings 2. But that's actually free right now, if you're actually into that type of game. Yeah, kind of like historical, but in a alternative fictive universe, I guess. Well, it's not it's obviously on Earth, but it's alternative history, because you can make your own history, from what I gather. Yeah, next game. Let's see, which is actually a Tony Hawk. Also, hold on. Skip through to that. Apparently, they have remade Or remake? Is it a remake? I think they are remakes. No, remasters. Remasters, yeah. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 plus 2. So it's 2 games in one. And it's a remaster of the first 2 games in the Tony Hawk franchise. Pretty straightforward. It's like arcade-ish skating, right? The release is September 4th, which is kind of weird. Like, maybe it takes a while to remaster those kinds of games. I don't know. We'll have a look at the trailer. It might look pretty impressive. I don't know. And it's on. I'm going to show a trailer from it's a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation trailer, but this game is on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, so you can get it on those systems. And the genre is extreme sports, or yeah, it's skating, arcade skating, because some of the moves here you can't really do in real life. But that's a fun thing about it, about the older games apparently. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's how it looks, the gameplay and everything. And I think that looks way better than what it used to look like. I could probably try to find footage. Yeah, no, I don't need to. That's how it looked. That's old game, new game. Old game, new game. Good. I didn't even need to do that myself. And you can be old school skaters too. So if you like that, and you get like a soundtrack that a lot of people loved, I've heard, or like punk rock and whatnot. So I think a lot of people are gonna get like nostalgia trip here and buy it, and split screen as well. Gonna get like nostalgia trip and just buy it because of that, or not, you know. Might still be very enjoyable for new people. September 4th, 2020. But that is actually getting a lot of traction because a lot of people have played it before, obviously. That might be fun for a lot. Maybe me too, because I do actually have... well, it's coming out on Steam, most likely. Or wait, I don't know if it's coming out on Steam, or Epic Game Store, or GOG, or... I don't think it says anywhere. Let me see. Is it not releasing on Steam? Okay, so the official statement on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 plus 2 remaster is that it will release September 4th, and it will be exclusive to Epic Game Store for PC. But you can still buy it on console, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So that's a little bit of bad news for me. Well, if you don't mind Epic Game Store, it's not bad news, but I don't really care about Epic Game Store myself, so then it might be delayed. Most likely, if you don't, obviously you can just get it on Epic Game Store immediately, or you just have to wait and then get it on Steam later. Maybe Steam like Steam sale, which is smart. Smart to not pre-order and just wait for sale anyway. Let's see if I can go back here, and the next game is a game I'm excited for, and a lot of other people are also excited for. It's called Cyberpunk 2077, and that might be like a game of the generation. I don't know. They kind of have a lot of like expectations on their shoulders for this game. They've hyped it up, but understandably so. I mean, it's CD Projekt Red. They made The Witcher 3, or The Witcher 1, 2, and 3, right? And especially with The Witcher 3 going forward, you're gonna have a lot of expectations on your shoulders no matter what you do. So even if this was not Cyberpunk 2077, just another game, they would have had like huge expectations anyway. But yeah, from the creators of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Cyberpunk 2077, it comes out. It was delayed actually, I think 2 times or something like that. It's understandable though. It's understandable. But it comes out now, September 17th this year. Let's see if I have a trailer. There we have a trailer here. CD Projekt Red presents. Yeah, this is a game I'm most excited about for sure. Like, that is Night City. I'm not really like, here's the thing about me, like I mostly like high fantasy RPGs or dark fantasy, which is what The Witcher 3 is, for example. High fantasy being Skyrim, for example. But I'm not against this at all. Like, I'm very open to sci-fi, cyberpunk universe where you modify your body to get stronger, maybe smarter, more stealthy, utilize weapons better, like certain weapons, melee or guns. And you can obviously, that's V, that guy. Not him, but that guy is the person you can customize him to whatever you like, basically. Obviously, can be whoever you want, or look however you want. And you have 2 models. You have like one male model and one female model, and then you can go from there. Completely just do whatever you want. And apparently you can customize genitals as well, if that's what you're into. Even though you're probably not gonna look at those. Or that too much when you're playing. Unless they have something very useful with that in the game, like in a gameplay element. I don't think so. I don't know what that would be. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in this. This is obviously cinematic trailer. It looks very good, but it's cinematic, so it's not gonna look exactly like this gameplay wise. And that's pretty cool. You have like blades coming out of your hands like that. That's probably something I would like to do, honestly. When it comes to melee, having blades on both my hands, or something kind of like Wolverine. Maybe blades out of my fists, 3 blades on both my fists, like 6 blades, I guess. That's pretty brutal kill there. And you can probably also play a character like what she did there. Manipulate people or hack people so they can't really utilize their tech or their weapons or whatnot. And then you obviously have the breathtaking Keanu Reeves. Well, he's not Keanu Reeves in the game, obviously. Cyberpunk 2077. And this only has like one edition of the game, Cyberpunk 2077. There's no like standard silver, gold edition or whatever. There's only one standard one and one like physical collector's edition one, I guess, that I've heard about. So the standard one, you get like postcards from Night City, map of Night City, the game soundtrack, art booklet, wallpapers, a source book of the game, and World Compendium, and stickers. So a lot of like physical goodies in just the standard edition, which it kind of looks like the standard edition actually looks like a deluxe edition that all games have. Like, you know, I think Ubisoft is more like that. They have like several editions, like standard, deluxe, silver, gold, ultimate, and then physical collector's edition. But the CD Projekt Red doesn't have that. They just put most of it in the standard edition, a lot of it there, and then if you want extra physical stuff, like more of that, that's a collector's edition. That might be like an amazing game. We don't know yet, obviously, but I think it will be great. It was originally gonna be released like on almost 2 months ago now. Like April 16th, 2020, it says here. Yep. So they kind of delayed it 2 times, but it's understandable and it's fine for me. Like, I'm a patient person, so. But yeah, that's definitely, I think, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, I wanted to cover that a little bit more, because that is actually the game I'm most excited about. Maybe we'll actually see some gameplay here. If I can find it. This is a work in progress still, so take it with a grain of salt. And it's probably, this looks very much like it's on console too. And you can hack into people. You hack into a person. if you have that skill set of hacker, maybe. Because people actually have a lot of like data inside of them. Like everyone probably. So that's something you can do. Or you can just go balls to the wall, or like complete guns blazing style. There's probably so many types of classes, I guess you could be, which might make the game extremely playable or replayable. And that's Johnny. Yeah, that's what Keanu Reeves' character is called, Johnny Silverhand. Who is not real, by the way. He is just like a hologram in front of you in the world, but he still can converse with you and help you. I could probably see if I can find... Yeah, okay, that video actually is just about... just showing like some of the elements and what you can do in a game, and then they discuss it. But here's actual gameplay demo. I've shown it before actually. I think I showed it last year, but it's pretty cool. Moving through the streets of Night City. So there's probably going to be a lot of like vertical exploration too, with the buildings. That's a thug. You could probably fight him if you want to. Drive the car, obviously. It's probably a very fast car as well. And then you have the quest up in the right hand corner there. Go to the all food plant. It's gonna be cool to just explore the city. Just look at the city in the background there. That's pretty cool. You could most likely go into every building there and go up and down vertically. There you have the gunplay. Wait, is the car actually driving itself now, like autopilot? Or did you just switch to the older guy in the older seat? Yes, that's pretty damn cool. We'll skip ahead a little bit. There's a stealth element. So you can just subdue them if you want, and then hack them. You don't have to kill necessarily. Looks like a hack. Maybe that's a hacking minigame too. But it looks like there's those blades again. That's pretty cool. Looks like sneaking might be pretty damn useful compared to just going in guns blazing. Wow. You can actually decapitate in this game as well. Decapitate and dismember and whatnot. Oh yeah, wait. I'll show the gameplay a little bit, like the movement. The movement actually looks a little bit like Doom-ish, I think. I don't know, where's the actual combat there? Yeah, you can jump and then skip to the side like that. That's like Doom. That's what you do in Doom Eternal as well. And slow mode. Pretty cool though. It looks a little rough now because it's a work in progress, obviously. But it looks playable. Even back then. Before it got delayed 2 times. Which again, it's understandable. It can be frustrating, but it is obviously understandable with a year like this. For not just for this game, but any game. Jackie. Wait, what's this? Jump in like ice cold bath? Or what? Ice cold therapy? Ice cubes? I would like to do that right now, actually. If I had like a bathtub with ice cubes and ice cold water. Especially nearing the summer. That would be real nice. Real nice. So I don't know what that is. Like, it's pattern recognition. Go into the matrix or I guess some kind of like Matrix kind of deal. The data fortress. Okay, that's a data fortress, apparently. Bridge to the deep net. Yeah, it looks very kind of Matrixy. Lots of things happening there. Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, and apparently there's gonna be a game after this one. After Cyberpunk 2077 in 2021 maybe, or later, which is gonna be like a PvP game or multiplayer game like this. Maybe it's like a brawler, I don't know, where you cage fight. Because it looked like you could cage fight in this game too, or in the single player. So first is the entire single player Cyberpunk 2077 and then Cyberpunk multiplayer later. It might contain spoilers, so I'm not gonna look, or I'm not gonna watch from there on out. Or wait, it says it was edited to contain as few spoilers as possible. That's good. That was Cyberpunk 2077, probably the most anticipated game of the year from most people. Then we go from that to, what's this? Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. Apparently the Lego games are actually pretty good, I've heard. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but yeah, first, Cyberpunk 2077. September 17th, 2020. And it's on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Google Stadia, and Windows. Of course, Windows. But, yeah. Xbox Series X, that's interesting. That means it'll come out first on Xbox Series X. Which is like the new generation of consoles. Or one of them, at least. And then PS5 is probably going to come out for PS5 too. Maybe later. And then a Lego Star Wars. Skywalker Saga. Let me have a look at the trailer. Long time ago into the galaxy far, far away. So yeah, this is probably gonna be like, well, not too much surprise for, especially for Star Wars fans, I guess. That was Darth Vader and Darth Maul. Luke Skywalker's there. Oh, all 9 films in one game. One Star Wars Lego game. Okay. So that might actually be good for a lot of people. It might be. But yeah, so that comes out... When does it come out? October 20th. Okay. PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. Okay. What's the next one is... I've heard about this one. Outriders. That kind of came out of nowhere too, or not a lot of people have heard about that either. I just randomly heard about it a while ago. And then I didn't think much about it. And here it is again on this list. And it's apparently coming out in December this year. 2020 December. No specific date. No, it's just quarter 4 2020. It says. December. And they actually have gameplay, so... And that's made by People Can Fly. That's the developer. Unreal Engine. And it's a... From what I've seen before, it's like a third-person shooter. Cover-based. It's kind of like Gears of War, or maybe mixed with The Division, I guess you could say. And maybe a little bit of Destiny in there too. And might, I don't know, or anyone actually excited about it. Yeah, this is apparently gameplay. Yeah, very cover based there. That's very Gears of War-ish style. But it looks very much like a looter shooter, like The Division, for example. Oh, okay. So they're just gonna talk. I'm gonna try to skip through stuff. But you got an idea, right? Third-person cover-based shooter. Kind of like sci-fi. Yeah, a little bit of Destiny as well. A little bit of a Destiny as well in there. It's a Polish producer, like City Project Red though, so maybe it will be good. It's on Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One and Xbox Series X in December. So that means Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 comes out in December or before, I guess. Kinda has to. And then we have, let's see. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, yeah. Of course. Official trailer. Which is kind of weird that that is an assassin game, but it is. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla is obviously action role-playing video game with Vikings in mind by Ubisoft Montreal, published by Ubisoft. And it's apparently the 12th major installment, the 12th, number 12. And the 22nd release in the Assassin's Creed series. So they have 12 like main series games. The 22nd one, like all in all. And it obviously comes after Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's set in 873 AD. Recounts alternative history to Viking invasion of Britain. Player controls Eivor, which is actually a 100% basically female Scandinavian name, by the way. So, but you can be both male and female Viking raider if you want. But yeah, Eivor becomes embroiled in the conflict between Brotherhood of Britain and the Templar Order. So I guess that's where you have the assassin part coming in, and there's not much from when I saw the trailer first time. Like the only thing that is assassin-ish is the hidden blade. That's about it. Yeah, that's obviously that's where they start in Norway. So you can actually probably be in Norway for a while if you want, or if not, then you can go to Britain on a raid and you can go back and forth. That's what I've heard they say. So you can actually go back and forth. You can come back here after raiding if you want to explore Norway, and if you want to explore Britain again, you can go back and raid more. But they did not show. Here's the thing: a lot of people were disappointed about. They said they would show gameplay after this trailer was released, and then they didn't. They just showed like in-game like engine stuff, not actual what you do on the battlefield and what you do in the camp and whatnot. If you build the Viking longboat or whatever you do. They didn't really show much there. They just showed this. This is the most they've shown. But it's obviously not gameplay. Yeah, does this look like Assassin 2 at all? It doesn't, right? It just looks like somewhat historically accurate Viking game. Until one part of this trailer. But honestly, like, me personally, I think it looks fine, like, from this trailer, just this trailer. I kind of have to wait until, like, the gameplay reveal, like, everyone else, but if it's gonna play like Assassin's Creed Black Flag or something like that, or Odyssey, then I wouldn't complain too much about it, honestly. Maybe they'll implement new gameplay elements, since you're not a Caribbean pirate, or, you know, you're not really an assassin either. Well, you're supposed to be. This is where you show your assassin self for real, like 1 second. Right there. With the hidden blade. But that's literally the only thing that is like Assassin's Creed about it. But all like that could be like a great game. Like, you can't really, until we see gameplay and it's released, we can't really say anything from the trailer. Like, people have been criticizing the trailer for historical accuracy and whatnot all the time, but I think it looks fine. Like, it's not supposed to be like the Assassin's Creed series, or isn't supposed to be completely historically accurate either. It has fantasy elements to literally every game, I think, unless there's some that doesn't. I don't know, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example, and Origins had you fighting actual gods. That's obviously not historically accurate at all, but cool. So cool and badass, so why not? I wouldn't mind it. Fighting Loki or Hel or the Fenris Wolf or Jotuns. That would be cool. Or Odin himself, if you need to. I don't know what they'll spin it as. That's probably not gonna happen. Viking Odin is with us, Odin. Not unless you buy the Blessing from the Gods expansion pack. Oh shit, I need to buy that extra deluxe edition then. Or the ultimate edition to get Odin to be with me. Yeah, I mean, people have been like criticizing that trailer up and down and left and right, but until it's out and the gameplay anyway, then we can't really say much other than it might be like, well, it might be a mess too, but it might also be an amazing game, or the best game in the series, even though you're not really assassin at all. You're a Viking raider. But I actually, here's my prediction. Here's my prediction about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think that's going to be the most, the best-selling Assassin's Creed ever. But I might be wrong about that, but that's my prediction anyway. because it came out of like, not out of nowhere, but it's very special to have like Assassin's Creed Valhalla with the Vikings. It doesn't really fit, but it also fits because it's badass and cool. So why not just do it? And I think a lot of people share my opinion on that. Like, come on. And this game is gonna be released on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Google Stadia, nobody cares about that, Microsoft Windows. Everybody cares about that. Well, at least me. Except, well, wait. On PC it releases on Epic Game Store, but you don't have to buy it on Epic Game Store. You can buy it on Uplay, which is Ubisoft's own launcher, which is better, in my opinion at least. But it's not on Steam. Or it might not be on Steam for a while, or maybe never, because it's their game, right? So they can have it on their store primarily, and then they'll release it on Epic Game Store on the side. But they might have it on Steam later. It's becoming a trend with all games. It's a little bit stupid, but I know that the latest one, Odyssey, is on Steam. Yeah, Odyssey is Assassin's Creed Odyssey is on Steam, so I don't see any reason to why they wouldn't, at least later, release it. And Odyssey has very positive reviews, which is great. But I don't know though, but I think this is gonna sell more. And Valhalla might sell more. Maybe not by much, but more. And hopefully it'll be an actual amazing game, not one of the worst. That would be stupid. We already had that with Fallout 76. I'm like a Fallout fan, so when that came out, it's a little bit of a, well, huge disappointment there. But they fixed it. Like from what I've heard now, they've actually fixed Fallout 76 to be pretty decent where it was supposed to be, right? Hopefully that doesn't happen with Valhalla. But Valhalla isn't a largely multiplayer game, so let's see, what else do we have then? Yeah, that's then in December 2020. That's when Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be released. And I guess that's all the games I wanted to cover for this podcast or gaming talk show. That's all the games I wanted to cover for this gaming talk show, really, that are upcoming right now. Just to recap, it's Desperados 3, The Last of Us Part 2, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, Ninjala, Iron Man VR, Deadly Premonition 2, F1 2020, Ghost of Tsushima, Paper Mario Origami King, New World MMO, Wasteland 3 game, Crusader Kings 3, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster, Cyberpunk 2077. That's gonna be the best one for me anyway, I think. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga, Outriders, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that's about it. It's a decent amount, like decent chunk of games right there. So I'm obviously mostly looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. And if I have to pick two from this list, Cyberpunk 2077 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But I'm not 100% sure if I will buy Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'm pretty sure I will buy Cyberpunk 2077. And I'm interested in seeing what happens to The Last of Us Part 2, like I said before. Because that might be very controversial when it releases, and we'll see with the you know, comments and reviews and streams and YouTube videos. YouTube videos there. The same with Cyberpunk 2077. We'll see with that too. Because it's not out of the... Like, it's not out of it yet. It's not like... It's a guaranteed to be like an amazing game, but I think it will be. And I think it will get a great reception. Because CD Projekt Red are like basically the best and nicest developer studio right now, I think. Most customer friendly too. That's a great one. Other than that, I don't really have any bigger opinion on any of our games. Except for... and maybe Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 would be like fun for a little bit. But again, that is Epic Games Store, right? On PC, so maybe not. On console, I could buy it on console though. Of course. Looks like a fun little time, like arcade skating. That was originally a console game anyway, so... yeah, that's my... well, out of the list, the 3 games I'm mostly interested in seeing what happens to: Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the controversy around The Last of Us Part 2, because the first game was amazing. The Last of Us 1. But this might not be so much.